Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Metal video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the SDBH, the Special Super Dragon Ball Heroes Challenge, the Super Dragon Ball Heroes Special Medal. This is stage 1 versus the Super Dragon Ball Heroes Fighters. Now we're going to be completing all the missions, but the missions require you to use 6 Dragon Ball Heroes characters. The big thing is here, honestly speaking, that mission is like nigh on impossible if you don't summon on Heroes banners. There are a good selection of really nice free-to-play Heroes units, and I think with a lot of luck, with 1 or 2 summonable units, you could probably get by with a like free-to-play team. But really, honestly speaking, it's just not that worth it. It's only 5 stones, and unless you're like super into getting stones, spending like 50 stones to luck out and get 3 characters to somehow come back and complete this for 5 stones just makes no sense. So if you're someone who's not interested in completing those missions, then it's really no point. Now the enemies in general, or how you want to build your team in general, realistically is quite simple. So the last boss is big time strong against superclass units. I think he's got like a huge damage reduction or an additional damage reduction of 20% against Super AGL, Super Tech, and Super Int. So you don't have to build like a fully extreme team, but realistically you might want to consider building one because you'll just do more damage. Like you're just gonna have an easier time in general. So how the team, or how my team works, is my team is obviously an extreme centric team. I'm using a Int Toa, Darkness Toa, as lead after EZA, 150% crossover lead. I suggest taking the friend. So let me explain this to you. If you have like your own physical Rose, Crimson Masked Saiyan, or you've got your own like super strength Goku, or if you've got your own Trunks or something, use your own like 180% lead if you have one, and then rather take a friend, especially if you don't have them, take a friend Meki Kabara. We'll talk about it, but there's a great Meki Kabara Easy Aid unit that you can take as a friend, and definitely consider taking him. If you don't, if you've only got 150% lead, rather take the Time Traveler's lead, Super Hearts. The big thing is with Super Hearts is he's like a 200% lead, so it gives you a lot more health. I find with taking the 250% leads, even though Meki Kabara is great, he's like probably one of the most important units. I find that if you don't have at least 180% lead of some kind, you tend to really struggle because you just don't have enough health to survive some of the attacks that nicely if you get caught out. Whereas if you have the 180, you have like an extra 50, 60 K health, and that helps. Like it can be the difference between a complete failure and it can be the difference between success. So yeah, now in terms of the stages, it's actually pretty straightforward. So we have quite a few multi-enemy phases. We have 2 exact, but we start off with 1. You would have seen it: Goku, Vegeta, Pan. Nothing too crazy there. Just 3 enemies. Try and focus down one of them at a time. Nothing wild. You then move on to Trunks. Trunks, something a little bit important to note, on his second turn he hits a lot harder. So when you are facing Trunks, a super big tip is that in the second turn, be very careful. He gets a 50% attack boost. He all of a sudden hits like a truck. He'll go, well, not like a truck, but I mean he'll go from like 260k attack to hitting like almost 400. So I think like you do need to anticipate that. After Trunks, you face Super Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker Vegeta. I suggest targeting the Goku first. He gets a 60% attack boost when Vegeta is around. By eliminating him first, you get rid of a bit of more of an attack threat, whereas like Vegeta just gains defense when Goku's around. So by keeping Vegeta, you're facing a unit that's a bit tougher to get rid of. So it just kind of makes sense to eliminate Goku because he does big damage. He does, all these things, and he's less tanky than Vegeta. He's got less health, less damage reduction, less defense, etc. Then you face Xeno Limit Breaker SS4. Vegito Xeno, thank you. So he starts with like a very big attack and defense boost. He actually hits quite tough. I think he comes out the gate hitting close to like 500k, which is a lot for this event comparative to the other stages. But he slowly gets weaker as time passes. Realistically speaking, my suggestion would be to potentially use an item here, at least for the first turn or two, if you want to, if you're not concerned about using items. And then that gives you a little bit of a buffer while he's still up and strong. And then you can kind of just, collapse in on him a little bit like a neutron star. And, basically, how can I say, you can sort of just collapse on him and kind of get him out the way. And then we have Super Saiyan God SS Vegeta, Berserk controlled. And basically, he grants immunity to being stunned. He nullifies super attack ceiling effect. But he's nothing special. He's pretty simple, I would say, out of all the bosses. Quite a simple unit to face. Then we move on to the Warrior in Black Super Saiyan Dark Dragon Ball Boost. This guy can be interesting, but I will say, so if you're running my team, at this point, and I'm going to use this opportunity to talk a bit about the team. So this team has Darkness Toa, great support. We have Toa, Strength Toa, great support. We have the Int Aeos, great support. We also have the Int Lags, who's a little bit of kind of a support, but just like a decent unit. We have Super Hearts, also a support. So you're kind of noticing a trend here that we don't have like a lot of big damage dealing units, and that's okay because I have Meki Kabura. If you don't have Meki Kabura, build your whole team around the concept of taking him as a friend, because like by this time in the fight, Meki Kabura greatly raises attack, and most times out of 10, he's gotten to the point where he's hitting like what I would call critical mass for this event. So he's just kind of starting to like one-shot the phases because of how strong he's now gotten. Because he's greatly raising. He's now hitting like 24, 25, 26 million. And this is my, 2-dupe unit. How much a, one, like a 100% friend lead, will hit, I don't know. But he is very good. And he does huge damage. He does big damage. He'll cause big damage to the opposition. He can be really quite something. Like he can really, really, really be very, very, very impressive. So I think like for me, all things considered, I would have to say that you on a functional level, you definitely probably want Meki Kabura. Obviously if you have like Fu or something, a unit like that, I think you don't need him. But I think like in terms of raw damage, I think Meki Kabura is the best hero's unit. Once he gets going, like he does the biggest damage for me, at least I find. His link set's great. He links up great with the free-to-play options. So it is something to consider. I would say, generally speaking, for me at least, I would say overall, at least functionally, he's probably the most necessary unit. He just does all the damage, and I think that's very crucial when you are, discussing things like that. I think it is very crucial that you talk about who's doing the damage, and Meki Kabura and this team is doing he's doing the work. I mean, you can see right here, he one-shots Goku, pretty much because of a triple super attack. So he is definitely very crucial. If you have him, it helps. If you don't, use like Fu or something, or bring him as a friend. Like he's just that big. He's just that big and important. But yeah, I mean, that's it from me. Genuinely speaking, I don't think it's worth it to summon on heroes to try and complete this challenge. You just complete it with your normal team and take the 5 stones and run off. You might as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, and bye.